Very good. Thank you. So let's say you're given that side A in this problem has a length of 5 inches, and side B in this problem has a length of 12 inches, and they want you to find what? Side C, obviously. We want to find side C. Side C is going to be the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is right here. It's always opposite the right angle. So if this is our right angle right here, the side directly opposite is going to be our side C, and that's our hypotenuse. And in this problem, we don't know what it is. That's what we're looking to find. We're also told that our legs, the two sides A and B here, I call the legs. They're known as the legs. The two sides that are not the hypotenuse are the legs. The hypotenuse will always be the longest of the 3 sides. Now, I can label this as A and this is B, lowercase a and lowercase b, or I can label this A and this B. That doesn't matter, but the hypotenuse must be C, and once I pick a side to be a certain label, I have to stick with it all the way through. So if I say that this is side A right here, and it's 5 inches, and then I say that this side down below here is side B, and that is 12 inches long. To find C, the hypotenuse, we are going to plug in to the Pythagorean theorem to find side C. What I would like to do now, though, is do something to the theorem, to the Pythagorean formula here. What I'm going to do is solve for C directly, and I'm going to come up with a second form of Pythagorean theorem. If I take the square root of both sides of this equation, in order to get C by itself, the only way to get C from C squared to C, you must utilize the square root function. So I take the square root of the left side, and whatever you do to one side, you must do the other side to maintain your equality. So I'd have to take the square root of this side. That ends up giving me the square root of C squared is asking what times itself is C squared. Well, C times itself is C squared. So the square root of C squared is C. That ends up giving me this secondary form right here of Pythagorean theorem. So this is Pythagorean theorem. It's just the form where we've taken the square root of both sides. I would like you to use this form of the Pythagorean theorem when you're trying to solve, and only when you're trying to solve for what side?
The hypotenuse.
Very good. Whenever you're asked to find the hypotenuse, I would like you to use this form of the Pythagorean theorem and just plug your A and B values right in here, square them, add them together, and take the square root, and that will give you your hypotenuse directly. It'll save you one extra step. So I'm going to put a note here that this form is for finding hypotenuse only. Okay? We're going to use this form here whenever they ask you for the hypotenuse, and whenever they ask you for one of the two legs, which we'll do an example in just a few seconds, we're always going to use the original form right here. Okay? We're always going to use this top form whenever we're finding one of the legs. All right, very good. So let's go ahead and finish up this problem. What I'd like to do is use this form right here because we're trying to find C, the hypotenuse. So I'm going to write this form down as it is, except wherever there's a variable, A and B, I'm going to put a set of blank parentheses. C is equal to the square root of A squared plus B squared. So once I put this form down, all we have to do is plug our value for A in here and plug our value for B in here. So I'm going to put my A value right in here. I'm going to put my B value right in here. Now we have to square 5. 5 squared is how much?
25.
25, very good. And then 12 squared. Anybody know that? You may have to use your calculator. Did you remember to bring your calculator today, James?
Yes.
What are you getting for 12 times 12?
144.
Very good, very good. 144. Now we add these two products together. So we get C is equal to the square root of, what do we get when what is the sum of 25 plus 144? That's not too hard, that's
69.
Very good. And now to finish the problem, to find C, the hypotenuse, we do have to take the square root of this. If you don't know what number times itself is equal to 169, that's what square root is asking, then you may have to use your calculator. So to finish this problem off, C is the square root of 169, which I heard 13. And don't forget your units. We were told units are inches, so whenever they tell you units, you have to include the units on the answer. So there's our answer, units of 13 inches. And one last thing, I would like you to always circle your answer when you're done. That way, whoever's looking at your work will know exactly what you meant to be your final solution. So let's circle our answer. So the hypotenuse is 13 inches, and there you go. There's your Pythagorean theorem when finding the hypotenuse. All right, thank you.